This week, Stuttgart, Germany has been host to the world's best gymnasts for the 49th edition of the World Gymnastics Championships. And it's been a week to remember for the greatest gymnast of all time, Simone Biles. Her 3 gold medals in Stuttgart have put her in a tie for most career World Championship medals. Today, she should pass that mark and add yet another record to her astonishing career. NBC Sports welcomes you to the World Gymnastics Championships presented by Olympic Channel, home of Team USA. Final day of competition here in Stuttgart. Fans filing into Hans Martin Schleyer Hall to watch the men and the women. It's day 2 of the apparatus finals. Glad you're with us. Terry Gannon alongside the Olympic champs, Nastia Liukin and Tim Daggett. Simone Biles is not done yet. Right to the end. 2 more events for her today, the beam and the floor exercise. But guys, before we get to that, let's just reflect on the week that's been for Simone Biles and what we've seen. 3 medals, all of them gold, including helping Team USA to another gold in the team final.
Well, you know what, Terry? She was actually making history before the medal rounds even started. She came here to Germany and unveiled 2 brand new skills, triple twisting double back on the floor exercise and a double twisting double back on the balance beam. And both of those skills went down in the code as another Biles. So it's been so exciting to be able to watch her here just from day 1. Of course, went on to that team final, was golden there again, and that was just the start for her here.
And you know what? Simone Biles has never been to a World Championships where she didn't come out on top with the gold medal. She's got 5 of them now. The thing about it is the margin of victory keeps growing. Unbelievable gymnastics. And this was her gold medal from yesterday on the vault. Another title. It's awesome.
So that makes 23. She admitted she had lost count at some point, but she's tied at the top, male or female, with Vitaly Sherbo. So today, an opportunity to get numbers 24 and number 25. I'd say pretty good chance.
Pretty good chance. I think she's going to do both of them very well. The balance beam, always a little nerve-wracking, but if anybody can perform well under pressure, it is Simone Biles. She has proved that not only here all week long, but throughout her entire career.
And on floor exercise, she is just off the chart. She has that triple-double, of course. She can do a double twisting, double layout. She has so many different options that she can do in floor exercise. If she hits her routine, there's nobody that can come close.
She's not the only American in competition this afternoon. Kara Aker initially did not qualify for this beam final, but she will be here competing. We'll explain that. Suni Lee won individual medal, her first at the World Championships yesterday. She'll be on floor exercise. And Sam Mikulik, who won a medal on high bar last year, will be the last man to go in that event later on. So it is day 2 for another one at the end of this. Here's the start list on beam, and we put in the qualification rank as well. Li Shijia from China leads it off. Matarereu from Canada, all the way down to Kara Aker, who initially didn't make it. She was 10th, but the 3-athlete per country rule plus Ellie Black withdrawing from this final, she gets in. It's an even deeper story to tell there too, which we will. Simone Biles qualified number 1, and then Flavia Saraiva from Brazil will round out the field here on beam. Well, talk about Simone making history, and it did start in the qualification.
Right here, double twisting, double back. Nobody in the entire world has ever done that. Now goes down in the code of points as the Biles.
2 flips, there's a twist, there's another twist. As you said, Nastia, never been done, but there's been a lot of controversy here at these World Championships. It was only given 1/10 higher of a difficulty value than a full twisting double, which makes no logical sense. USA Gymnastics appealed. FIG came back and said it is a safety issue, but it's not right.
All right, starting off with the 15-year-old from China, Li Shijia, who qualified 2nd.
And China had really a disastrous team competition. Finishing off the podium, Italy upset them, and already 2 pretty big balance checks.
Supposed to connect all 3 of those elements.
This is big here. Awesome.
gorgeous.
Relatively new combination that is earning favor with a lot of gymnasts. Gets good points for it, and also very exciting. That handspring front.
As you saw, she qualified into this final in second place, just behind Simone, 0.3 of a point.
So you heard that tone. That means she has 10 seconds to complete her routine. If she doesn't, she'll incur another deduction. And great dismount, double pike, but she is over time by 1 second, so an additional 1/10 off.
Entered the World Championships as a 15-year-old, turned 16 during the competition. Ishijia.
Here's that connection. So she was trying to connect these two leaps together into a back handspring. So 3 elements in a row she was supposed to connect. So she broke 2 of those connections. And, plus a slight wobble, so.
Right, and you know, you say, well, why would you have a routine that is too long? You would make it the right amount of time. She would have easily done that if she had connected those skills. She had 2 pauses in between then. Probably cost her at least 3, if not 4 or 5 seconds.
There's that dismount, so double backflip in a pike position, shoulders up on the landing. That's what the judges are looking for. Obviously that stick, but the position in your chest and shoulders when your feet hit the mat.
Just in case you're wondering, the music during that beam routine was very loud. That is not choreographed. That's just Nat sound in the arena. At times it's been a little bit like a disco in here.
Commentators are very close together too. That gets loud at times.
It does.
Our
it does. I've heard that some people have had a problem.
Oh, have you?
Sound problems, taxi problems. There are a few, but it's been a great week other than that.
It's just such a shame, though, because the Chinese, all of them are so unbelievably fabulous on beam, but they don't get the job done. You see that penalty of 1/10 of a point? That is for the overtime.
So 14.3 is the number as Anna Adarerayu from Canada gets set, the 17-year-old who won a silver medal on beam at the World Championships last year.
And her teammate, Ellie Black, who had a fantastic Worlds, was 4th in the all-around on her last event. Oh, boy.
Ooh.
And that may not look difficult, but those turns, they're called wolf turns. They can be the demise of just about anyone. Started to say Ellie Black injured herself on vaulting, high ankle sprain, had to withdraw from the finals, so she got a second chance. Beautiful combination, but looking very rattled. I thought she was very off right after the first layout step out and not rotated enough.
Yeah, didn't quite just get the rotation that you need. Obviously, she was a little crooked, but sometimes you're able to fix that in the air if you have enough height and rotation, and just wasn't able to pull it off. You know, Tim, you talk about the music that you hear right now in the background. That's just very not typical, because normally there are 3 other events going on at once in the event finals. It really is one event, one athlete at a time. You feel a little bit more pressure when you know all eyes are on you.
2.5. Double full right there. That's a shame. 2 falls, a point off for each one.
It is a different dynamic in an event final. But then you take a Simone Biles who knows all eyes are on her
Always.
anytime.
Exactly.
The dreaded wolf turn, where she's down low to the beam, tries to spin around 3 times and off the balance beam. In training, I was watching, before everything really even got going here, and a number of athletes, oh yeah, way off to the side right there.
Didn't quite open her hips up in the air. That would have given her some more rotation. And it seemed like that first skill was pretty straight, but really it was after the second one going into the third.
This is a rule they got to modify.
I agree with you.
On the women's side, they allow a C-level dismount, whereas in the past it would be a deduction. You would lose bonus points, and it just doesn't encourage the exciting stuff and what she's capable of doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, the C dismount, every single skill and on every event has a different grade of difficulty, starting with an A, going all the way up, but
and each letter that you go up, it's another 10th. A is 1, B is 2, all the way on up to Simone's double-double off beam that is an H.
Which should be higher.
It should be a J.
So sub-12 for Rayu from Canada. Home crowd getting it going for Sarah Voss, the 19-year-old.
Beautiful combination series right there. 3 skills in a row.
Oh. There you go. A lot of times the leaps don't look as difficult, but they can be, and sometimes even more difficult. I would not give that, though, too long of a pause. She's trying to get some extra tenths of a point by combining elements together.
Just the dismount right here. So nice 2.5 twist, big hop, but as we mentioned, that dismount right there, a D level of difficulty, so a little bit more difficult than the last.
Despite dealing with a foot injury, she got to the all-around finish 10th and helped Germany qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. Sarah Voss.
I'm Doug Hirsch. You may already know that GoodRx can...
Sarah Voss into second place, 13.266, as Melanie De Jesus dos Santos from France is underway on beam.
Gorgeous. And Melanie is just such a phenomenal athlete, has struggled a little bit here. Few falls. Was really vying for that all-around podium. Unfortunately, just did not have a great day. Multiple falls.
And the entire delegation of France, a lot of people had them in the hunt with Italy for an outside shot at a team bronze, but just didn't happen during the team finals. Just a beautiful gymnast. Double tuck. There you go. No one likes to finish a competition on a bad note, and it wasn't good for her the last time out in the all-around finals.
Qualified for both beam and floor, so we'll see her a couple of times today. Melanie De Jesus dos Santos.
Beautiful back layout, her hips pretty open, looking for all the way around. Could have just gone just a little bit more for being extra picky.
Got to be friends with Simone Biles. Actually has spent time at her training camp, Biles Gym. Saw the other day Simone watching closely and cheering her on.
As you mentioned, Tim, just such a beautiful gymnast and kind of has it all, the grace, the beauty, flexibility, but the power and the strength as well.
Yeah, she does, and that's a rare combination. You know, a lot of times you can be really elegant and, you know, have this artistic feel for the sport, and usually maybe not quite as powerful. She has everything.
Lee's number is 14.3. That's what she would need to take the top spot. Boston second right now. It's a contingent from France. Yeah, she was 5th and 6th in the all-around the last couple of years, so it was really disappointing that performance in that final. 13.662, so a long way from Lee's number in the second.
Actually, she got a 15.2 maximum starting score, and in
well
the qualifications, she had a 15.7. What happens is the judges evaluate what they see, not what the gymnasts were planning to do.
All right, here is the reigning world balance beam champ, 19-year-old Liu Tingting from China.
And really wants to redeem herself. In the team finals, 2 falls on bars, then went to beam, fell again. She said, I'm a veteran. That is unacceptable. I shouldn't have let it get to me like that. Here we go. Hangs on. Carry that routine that she won the gold medal last year at Worlds. It was absolute poetry in motion, just gorgeous everything, but you see all these little doubts, I think, Nastia.
Yeah, she doesn't really seem like she's off.
And that was good,
great.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, it's about being patient, not rushing to finish and move on to that next skill. She qualified into this final in 3rd place, was broke that connection right there. She was about to say she was over time. So let's listen. So that's your warning. So now she has 10 seconds.
I think she's gonna make it.
She does.
Double full. The clock says 1 minute, 28 seconds, so she finished with no time deduction. It was a very good routine, absolutely, but she's capable of better. She had a couple of balance checks. You pointed out, Nastia, at the end. She didn't connect something.
Really difficult combination, going 2 forward elements in a row.
That was gorgeous right there. That's called a ring leap, and so many gymnasts at this competition have been just really brutalized. They think they're getting a certain level of skill, and they don't give it. The judges don't. There it is right there, once again.
There's that dismount, so just a double full here. And really, when you're doing a dismount that's, you know, a C-level difficulty, so not as difficult as so many, you cannot give away a single tenth.
But see, that's why I think the FIG made a mistake with that. It just, you know, it historically has not been allowed. She would have, you know, incurred deductions on top of that, and she's capable of doing more.
13.966.
So you see they actually raised her difficulty score by a few tenths.
Goes back, and we're going to talk more about that in a moment too, because the next gymnast who is set to go. Liu qualified third right behind Li, who is the leader, and then Chen Yila from China qualified fourth, so she's not here. 2 athletes per country, and that tops it, 14.433 on top of the leaderboard. Two athletes from China, 1-2 right now. And Kara Aker is next, the 16-year-old from Grand Valley, Missouri. Told you the 2 athlete per country rule. Also Allie Black withdrawing, so she gets in, but there's even more drama back to the qualification as she gets underway.
Gorgeous. She keeps her beam moving, but what happened was she competed and they only gave her a starting score of 15.8. The USA coaches thought that was too low. They put in an inquiry and they came back, lowered it by 0.4 of a point. They have spoken with officials and judges here. They don't agree with it, but they're making some modifications to this routine to try to alleviate that.
But you know, I think the most, wow, beautiful, the most upsetting part about it was that the USA was in the last round of qualifying in the competition, and she was basically already guaranteed a spot before they put in that inquiry.
Yeah, she was in, then out after the inquiry, and then of course, Allie Black scratching from balance beam, moved her up, and she gets her shot again.
What a range of emotions. Great connection right there.
Nicely
a little
done.
off on her switch lead, but didn't seem to bother her. And 2.5 twists right here. She'll actually add a back handspring. Round of back handspring, 2.5.
Pretty darn good.
Advanced to the beam final last year, and also a second on beam in the U.S. National Championships the last couple of seasons.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what the judges value this routine as. Once again, in qualifying, 15.8, then lowered to 15.4. In the team championships, though, she did a routine that was 16.0, and in the U.S. and at the Pan American Games had a routine that was valued at 16.6. Has long been known for her tremendous abilities on balance beam, but really wants to be considered. Wow, she was
very crooked.
But that's what the great ones do. You know, they're presented a challenge and they don't fade. They keep it going, and she did, because wow, she could have been completely off on that, either the round off or the back handspring.
Kara, who was born in China, and it's a gymnast from China sitting alongside in the lead right now. So we get the number for Kara Aker, and then it's Simone Biles going after medal number 24 and gold medal number 18. Kara Aker waiting for the number. Liu Jingting, the leader. There it is, an even 14. So Aker goes into third place overall. And now Simone Biles medals on beam. Already had the record for gold medals coming in. That number's up to 17 at the World Championships now.
That really tricky skill. You don't see Simone struggle on that too often.
Big test right here. 3 elements in a row. Back handspring to 2 layouts. Perfect.
Wow. You know, she was very upset with her performance in Rio on balance beam. Certainly thought she could come away with a gold medal. We've heard her say outside of the competition hall that if there's one medal she wants most in Tokyo, it is a gold on balance beam. But you heard from her coach that...
To her coach right before, she will not be doing the double twisting double back here.
Just a full in. She doesn't... She probably doesn't need to do it. It's a shame, though. If it was valued at the right level.
And here's that wolf turn that, not always my favorite, but the way she does it is just perfection.
You see a lot of gymnasts that struggle to make it around, and she is like...
Could add a few more.
Warp speed. Fantastic right there.
Here's that connection. I mean, even in slow motion, it just looks so quick. That's exactly what the judges are looking for.
So she had a 16.5 maximum score in qualification, but she did the double-double, which gave her only 1/10.
Oh.
Oh, and tears. What must that be like?
It's got to be on top here. It's just...
Two-time world champ already on beam. Supposed to be a 3-time champ. Get her 24th medal. That's happening overall, and 18th gold.
She'll become the most decorated world champion gymnast, male or female, surpassing the great Natalie Sherbo.
They've got to give it to her.
And the do, 15.066 on top is Biles. Number 1 again.
And that will be hard to challenge, that's for sure.
And we knew it, but that is medal number 24. Nobody, no male, no female, has ever had 24 medals at the World Championships.
Unbelievable, just incredible.
So one more gymnast to go. Flavia Saraiva, the 20-year-old from Brazil.
Marcel just unfortunately had such a devastating round of qualifications.
Oh boy. And she, though, has been fantastic at these World Championships.
As I was saying, they unfortunately didn't qualify their team to the Olympic Games. Flavia herself earned an individual spot in the all-around.
They lost an athlete to injury while they were here, and really their top all-around gymnast tore her ACL again. I think she has 3 of them, Rebecca Andrade. She is hoping to make a comeback and qualify through what's called the Continental Championships in the all-around.
Just such a stunning routine here, minus that first fall. You know, we talk about those bring leaps so often, and Flavia does them so well. There's one right there. You see her head goes all the way back, looking up past the ceiling.
And so that means they lose sight of the balance beam, which you don't really
never want
like
to do.
doing.
Scary.
It's just the dismount. Double pike. Such a shame. Such a great routine for her.
It was great. She's got one more shot, though. She is also in the floor exercise finals. But up until that fall on that super hard, super gorgeous layout from a round off, she has been phenomenal.
Here's that fall you see on her round off. Her feet were already almost off the beam there, and unfortunately, just no matter how high or how much rotation she had, she wasn't able to save that one. But this was gorgeous. Same combination we saw Simone Biles do.
Perfect. I mean, literally perfect. Like to see the double pike. Pretty good body position on the landing. The smallest of steps. Only a 1/10 of a point for that.
Disappointing week, though. Simone waits for that number for the final gymnast, Saraiva from Rio de Janeiro.
So Simone is going to be about 6/10 better than the second place gymnast. And she's like that on so many events, it's scary.
She was talking about the fact that she kind of wished there was someone there challenging her at this point.
The one person that comes closest didn't have a great all-around meet, and that's her teammate, the 16-year-old Suni Lee. I used to say Simone can fall for sure 2 times, 3, maybe even 4. With someone like Suni, if she hits, I don't think that's the case.
13.4 into 6th place, so now it is really official. Another gold medal. It's the 4th here in Stuttgart at these World Championships for Simone Biles. Liu Tingting from China, the silver, and Li Shijia, the bronze medal. So a couple of athletes from China on the podium, but that top step belongs to Simone Biles. Kara Aker almost didn't make it into this final, ends up in 4th. So the 24th medal at the World Championships, 18 gold medals now for Simone. And she is not done yet. A little bit later, we will see her try to capture gold on floor. Gets it done on beam. Add another one to the collection for the greatest gymnast of all time. We move now to the women's floor exercise. And yes, we will see Simone Biles once again. Here is the start list. Jesus dos Santos starts it off. Akimova from Russia. Suni Lee is in there. She qualified right behind Simone Biles. So very good. It looks great for Team USA in this floor.
It absolutely does. You know, this is going to be an incredible event to end on, especially for Simone here. Stay on your feet and you are going to win yourself another gold medal.
Simone has already won one today, her 4th at these World Championships, but we get underway with the 19-year-old from Saint-Marie, France, Melanie de Jesus dos Santos, qualified 5th.
Out of bounds, that'll be 1/10 of a point. know about you guys, but I feel good.
So great to see that. She struggled in the all-around finals and the team finals. Great to see her end her World Championships here on a good note.
Been waiting to say that since you heard it. Sixth on floor last year at the World Championships, and a very good ending.
Absolutely, this can contend. Her mount, super difficult. Double laid out somersault with a full twist. Just a tiny little slide backwards. She does the hard tumbling, but she also has the artistic component, really shows off the dance. You can see that she enjoys it, has a good time, feels the music. Beautiful.
And, you know, we talked about that earlier. Sometimes it is difficult to have that whole package, and Melanie absolutely does. But you see that one foot go out of bounds. So, Tim, as you mentioned, 1/10 deduction. Not a huge deal, but of course, when it comes down to making that podium.
Another great landing right at the end. Have always been a super fan of this young lady, Melanie. Wow.
Born in Martinique, a French overseas region in the Caribbean. Her mom is from there. Her dad is Portuguese. In France, training. Crowd got into that midway through, too. 13.833, the number. Lower than the qualifying. See how long that holds up.
Now, in the qualifying round of competition, she actually had 3/10 higher in her difficulty score.
I don't know how they did that.
There was one leap, the Torjete full, that was a little iffy for me. Perhaps didn't get full credit for that, but.
Part of the silver medal team here, Russia, Lilia Akimova.
Really tough tumbling from start to finish, same mount that we just saw. Oh, boy. Out of bounds and a large deduction.
Super difficult routine. Unfortunately, a few too many errors on the landing in that opening pass and execution in general.
Get that number for Lilia Akimova, the 22-year-old from St. Petersburg, Russia. Day 2 of the apparatus finals, women's floor underway, and Suni Lee, the teenager from Minnesota, about to get things started. Think of the week she's had here in her first trip to the World Championships, part of a gold medal effort for the Team USA, and then on uneven bars.
Well, her first individual medal, just a spectacular routine. Struggled a little bit with consistency earlier in the week, fell in the all-around finals. But there you have it, her first individual medal to add to that gold. As you mentioned, Terry, she will leave here from her first World Championships as a world champion.
Listening to her with Andrea after the teenager came out too, the excitement. And now, at this stage, she was very good in qualifying. Number 2, here she goes, Suni Lee.
She actually had the same score as Jade Carey because she had a better execution score They broke the tie. She goes in. Only 2 gymnasts can compete from each country.
What a way to end her first Worlds.
A tremendous routine, really hard. Double-double off the top, then a double layout. Little bit of a stumble at the end of her third tumbling run, but sticks the final pass.
And Simone, who's become such a role model and friend, and guided her through this week. And Suni said, look, early in the week, nerves did get the better end of me, but not anymore, not now.
Here is that double-double, just a small little slide. She's, as we were talking, Nastia, about Melanie, she has those same qualities. She can dance, she's very artistic, but also is able to do the powerful skills. Rare combination. She's got it all.
There's that dismount, double backflip, almost a stick.
So she was third in the USA last year as a junior, and she's now one of the very best gymnasts in the world. Senior level, what a transformation.
Made her senior debut earlier this year. Incredible. Number one, 14.133 for Suni Lee. Family watching back at home. Her dad recovering and watching every second of it. Been FaceTiming with them. They like it. So Suni Lee in the lead as we continue with the floor exercise.
Representing Russian Federation, Angelina Melnikova.
Angelina Melnikova from Russia, part of that team silver, but also won a bronze in the all-around.
Great routine for Angelina. Actually had 2/10 higher in her difficulty starting value than Suni.
Had some pretty good landings, lots of hard tumbling as well. Right off the top, though, she did a turn combination that looked like it wasn't exactly what she was hoping for.
You know, those turn combinations are just as important as these very difficult tumbling passes like this one right here. Double out, full twisting double out. You know, it almost seems like that's like the time to relax and take a deep breath, but they are some of them are valued just as much as some of her tumbling passes.
Double layout, another just small hop. If it's less than shoulder width apart, this got a little funky.
That wolf turn that we just keep talking about. So many doing it on the balance beam and on the floor exercise. But great dismount, double pike, just a slight hop back.
It is amazing with the incredible things they do that turns out to be sometimes the most difficult.
It's crazy. Most of the time on balance beam, but I don't know what they'll do with that, though.
Melnikova, who did get that individual medal here at the World Championships, he's been looking for the bronze in the all-around. So how close do you think this will be?
Very. Absolutely. Russia, of course, competing in these worlds without their veteran, their star, Aliyah Mustafina. 2 Olympic Games in a row. She has won Olympic gold on the uneven bars. Has been battling some injuries, but plans on making a run for that Russian team for Tokyo. She could potentially go 3 in a row on bars. She's still that good.
She waits, Suni Lee waits beside her to see who will lead after this number is announced. And they're going to make us wait some more.
And take a look at some more wolf turns.
Yeah, I would, you know, typically when they're having, because they're discussing something right now, there's some discrepancy, and when they do that, it usually means that they didn't like something or there's something in question. That was not 2 complete turns right there. Does have that 0.2 of a point cushion on Suni Lee for maximum potential score.
And if you think it's long for us, imagine being her. There you have it, 14.066 into second, so it's not enough. And it's Suni Lee who still leads here on floor. And next up, 20-year-old from Rio de Janeiro, Flavia Saraiva. Saw her on beam earlier. She qualified 7th for this floor final.
Huge opening tumbling run. She'll do what's called a whip back, a flip with no hands right into a double layout. Right here. Ooh.
such a disappointing week for Team Brazil here. What a way for her to finish.
Happy for her. She fell off the balance beam, but that was delightful.
Got to the all-around, earned a trip to Tokyo, Flavia Saraiva.
When knee pain stops you in your tracks.
Flavia Saraiva sitting next to Suni Lee as we wait for this number. 14.133 is what Suni Lee has. 13.966 into third place. So it's Suni Lee, Angelina Melnikova, and Flavia Saraiva, and we're down to the final two. How about this week for Suni Lee?
Good for her. Absolutely.
On the podium. Ready to go, the 18-year-old from Canada, Brooklyn Moores, who didn't expect to be in this final. She qualified 11th, but it was Nina Durwile, the gold medalist from uneven bars this week, who withdrew, and here is Moores.
Beautiful routine, just great choreography, and shows it off so well. Oh, golly. That was stunning. You know, a lot of gymnasts throw their arms, their head back, and it doesn't mean anything. She's actually telling a story with her choreography, and it moves people. It moved me. Started off phenomenal. Her first tumbling run, this was awesome. Very unusual double front with a half into a leap. Oh.
You know, she told us earlier that in her younger days, earlier on in her career, she just didn't have the power and the strength to do the tumbling passes that so many of these other athletes were doing. So she focused so much more on the choreography, and boy, did it pay off. I mean, she is one of the most, in my opinion, artistic and graceful gymnast out there right now.
Well, look at that. I mean, she is feeling it, every single thing. So hard to do that because when you dance to that level, it is exhausting. The only problem right at the end, not a good view. I think both of her toes were over the line, which is a 3/10 deduction. We'll have to see if the judges had a good vantage for that.
Went through a stress fracture injury in her back last year. It took some time to come back, and she said much of this season was building these programs back up.
Comes from a gymnastics family. Her sister, Victoria Moores, tremendous on floor exercise, actually has a skill named after herself. Very difficult, double twisting, double layout. Jade Carey does that for her first tumbling run now.
So I'm just looking at the scoreboard right now, and Flavia has actually put in an inquiry. So of course that can the only thing that can be changed in the score is the difficulty value, and if that goes up at all.
But we have seen numerous times at these World Championships that they look at it and they have the advantage of looking in slow motion. And a lot of times they can see errors that aren't visible.
You know, but in this
We've
situation,
seen the scores go down, though.
Absolutely, but in this situation, she's in third right now with Simone Biles to go.
You're right.
If it drops down anymore, she really has nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose
Absolutely.
by making the inquiry.
I think there's probably a guy on the floor that has a lot of experience that thought of that strategy out. The great Valeri Lukin, the head coach of Brazil.
So the number's 13.966. Melnikova is 14.066 in second place.
Yeah, so one more tenth would tie them, but my guess is that she has a higher execution score, which would break in her favor if it is only 1/10 of a point.
How about the drama for the others, though, right now as they wait?
Everybody, really.
Yeah.
Simone being up next, taking a seat on the floor. Angelina, of course, currently in second. Thought she had secured a medal there.
Remember Suni Lee earlier in the week had to wait forever and then had a mistake. She said that did contribute. Not to use an excuse, but she said it did.
And, you know, I don't have Flavia's routine really written down in front of me, but taking a look at all of her leap connections and turns, they all seemed like she did them very well. So if that was the case.
So stay where you are, there is more to come.
We were just talking about the wait for Simone Biles now.
Yeah, I think she can handle it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if that would, but not her. I think she might be okay.
So the score was
so the
not
score
changed.
was not. And it's 13.966. So Saraiva in third behind Melnikova. Brooklyn Moore's waits.
That ending, you know, and both feet went out of bounds. That's very costly. She doesn't have the same level of difficulty. The judges are saying only 1 foot out of bounds, though.
Into sixth, and guess who is sitting there on top of the leaderboard? Suni Lee's going to medal again, but here is the last gymnast to go, and of course it is Simone Biles.
She could take one twist off of every single pass that she does and still win. She's not going to do that.
Please don't.
The first pass is her new Biles, the Biles 2 on floor, the triple-double. Second pass is her first one, double layout with a half twist.
There we go.
Oh boy. I would say that was a connected leap, but 1 foot out of bounds, 1/10 of a point. Tell you what, Terry, what that means right there is every single medal that she won here in Stuttgart is gold. 5 of them. Wow.
be the most decorated gymnast ever at the World Championships, and just adding to that number.
And here's that opening tumbling pass, a triple twisting double back.
Triple double.
And she does it easy. Swear to God, she could add another twist to that. Here is the Biles.
Named in her honor. That's the
Yeah, you
Biles
get the
double
leap
straight
credit
half.
there. Certainly,
We are
she
proud
hasn't
to be
been able to
living
pull
the
that
golden
off.
times of pure greatness of Simone Biles, world innovator.
Wow.
Zahlreiche Elemente, die nach ihr benannt worden sind, jetzt auch wieder bei
And
dieser
this is really hard to do as well. Third pass, already tired. Doesn't just do a front flip into that full twisting double, but lays it out. And then, as hard or harder than the very best gymnasts in the world, last pass, double twisting double. Completely upright.
You know, she's told us, and so many others, you see her coach, Laurent Landy, there celebrating. What an amazing week those two have had here. But she said this might be her very last World Championships, and if it is, we have just had the true honor of watching her make history
And
again.
it is a gold medal once again for Simone Biles. Five-time world champ on floor. Suni Lee and Angelina Melnikova round out the top three. Another individual medal for Melnikova. And how about Suni Lee in her first year as a senior?
Gold, silver, and bronze.
Wow.
Whole collection.
Number 19 for Simone Biles, 25 world medals.
We gave a shout out to Simone's coach, Laurent. They are a coaching pair. Cecile Landy as well, very much a part of Simone's success.
Wants to congratulate her. There we go. So the Biles story continues. And you start to look ahead to Tokyo and what she might accomplish there. This has been something else again in Stuttgart. Why not take another look at what we just saw from Simone Biles on her way to her 19th gold medal.
I feel honored just to be around, calling the gymnastics, the magic that she shows every single time. A special time to be alive.
And it really is a golden era. I mean, you're watching the all-time best, and now numbers-wise at the World Championships, certainly that. Vitaly Sherbo at 23. But Simone Biles now, her 5th gold of these championships. She's got 25. Says her mom keeps these in a safe. She's got the key. So, and I would like to see a picture with all of these in the Olympic medals as well.
Yeah, 25 world medals and 5 Olympic medals, and she's sure to add a bunch of them in Tokyo. Can you imagine getting them all around her neck? I don't think she could stand.
So her week, it's been a very busy one, is in the books. And we are down to the final event here. Stars playing out, but it has been the stage for that woman, Simone Biles. Fantastic. For Nastia Luke and Tim Daggett and Andrea Joyce, I'm Terry Gannon. Thanks for watching the World Championships here in Germany, everybody.
An unprecedented.
So, how do you characterize it? Yet another one of those Simone Biles days. 2 more gold medalists for the greatest gymnast ever. And afterwards, she talked to Andrea Joyce.
Once again, Simone into the history books. This one is gigantic. The most decorated world's gymnast, male or female, of all time. You want to just take this microphone and drop it?
No, we're good. No, it's an honor that I've gotten to compete for the country so many times, and I'm just proud of the performances I've been able to put out for our country.
But when you take a step back outside of your own body and you look at what you've been able to accomplish, how impressed and how amazed are you at what you've been able to do?
Very impressed with what I've been able to do, especially after all these days of competition. Just keep the dice rolling, basically, and it's insane.
Your reaction after beam was probably the best we've seen all week. Take us back to that moment and what was going through your mind.
I've trained so hard on beam, and that was one of my nerve-wracking events that I go out and compete for, so I was really happy to put up a routine just like how I train it, and to get the result back, world champion on beam, it feels very good.
You showed your boyfriend Stacy's reaction. You looked a little bit like him.
Yeah. Oh God, that's rough.
25 world championship medals. You have said you're almost certain that this will be your last. What do you think now? That's got a nice round number to it.
Yeah, I think so. It's older than my age, so I'm pretty thrilled with it.
You think this is your last?
We'll see. Maybe. I don't know.
You have also said that you continue to amaze yourself. You always want to do better than you did in your last competition. So what are you looking forward to as you get ready for Tokyo?
Getting ready for Tokyo, just keeping that consistency going, and we'll see if we have any little upgrades here and there, but definitely the consistency factor is the biggest part.
How are you going to celebrate?
I'm not sure yet. We go home tomorrow, and then we'll see. I have no idea what everybody has planned.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Extra suitcase for the medals.
Yeah.
She didn't entirely close the door, but it may indeed be her last world championship. But look at these numbers, guys.
Unbelievable. And, you know, you've just got legends there, but as she proved, being the most decorated, she's a step above everyone on that list. And boy,